welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
I mean, we might as well throw all our Royal Rumble picks in the toilet for next year for the men's, right? Like,
Who knows what's going to happen next year? I mean, we couldn't even predict this year, let alone a year from
I
now.
mean, this year is just like, Jesus, yeah,
But it was a
stunk it up.
it was a good week for Wrestling Wit as we interviewed DTV on Tuesday and Morgan Morrissey on Wednesday. Two incredible interviews from two incredible individuals. Definitely two unique interviews. Definitely cannot recommend them enough. Go into our archives to check them out if you haven't already. Um, this upcoming Tuesday, we have Rushland, which is our first pro wrestler from the country of Norway. We talk about that, wrestling in Russia, a hair versus hair match he had, a 7 year rivalry, being currently injured, and maybe bleeding a little too much during a match. Um, all that and a lot more in that interview. In this upcoming Wednesday, we have Victor Tuki from Fight Club Finland, or FCF. FCF, yes. We talk about his current tag team having the belt stolen from him and his tag team partner, being vacated, longest reigning tag team champions, um, bags on a pole match, almost completely retiring from pro wrestling, and a hell of a lot more. Definitely a very interesting one to say the least. You definitely want to check that out. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips now.
And then I heard like the skin kind of popped, and then a waterfall of blood just pouring down my face, and then I realized, fuck, I probably did too much. And when I was on the ropes, not giving up, I was thinking in my head, come on, because he's the guy that he takes his time. He kind of uh, builds the anticipation, milks the crowd, and he really takes his time. So I was there hanging on the ropes, and I see just blood just running, pouring down my face, and I was thinking, come on, if you don't go on soon, I have to give up because I have no idea how much blood I've lost at this point. And yeah, I had to clean the canvas afterwards.
That I haven't figured out yet. I was thinking about my arm, but I'm a bit obsessed with tattooing my leg because it's closer to getting a sleeve style done.
Okay. I'm sure you might have had a conversation or two with Alice Inc. about tattoos and 100% preference.
Absolutely. The first time I saw her tattoos, I was like, God damn, that's what I want.
Well, I mean, you've been in the ring with her, no?
Yeah, a couple of times, yeah.
I mean, you said Jessica was, a hard hitter. I can't imagine Alice is far behind, no?
No, I think like where Jessica hits hard, Alice kicks hard.
I gotcha. Right. And then on the 18th, we have the Infamous Ladamel. On the 19th, we have Alice Inc. And on the 24th, we have referee Timu. Alright, I believe we're done putting ourselves over. So, we are wrestling. Well, it is a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. Um, it was oddly enough last night on a Friday. Didn't seem like an important Friday. Pretty random, but Sonya Deville, Blair Davenport, and Cedric Alexander all got and AOP with Paul Ellering all got released from WWE last night. The Full Metal Lesbians are 50% less lesbian. There's one less Paul in the world, and the Ouchie Club got a new member going into whatever their Australian show is called. Kaliko, your thoughts on these recent releases? These sudden releases.
I mean, the sign. I mean, the Cedric one is kind of crazy because of the fact that he was just working with Javion, which is, but I guess, the Hurt business, Hurt Syndicate gonna get their new member.
Right.
You know that's coming, right? At least he got somewhere to go. So that's good for him. He's got somewhere to go. So it won't hurt him as much. Sonya Deville, that's out of nowhere.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was out of nowhere. For some apparent reason, whenever it came to her rivalries, they just never panned completely out. You know what I mean?
True, but I guess. Well, the rumor is Shayna's not renewing, so
Really?
she's going. That's the rumor mill. Shayna's not gonna let her shit renew, so she's out the door. So it's essentially just gonna be Zoe.
The Pure Fusion Collective with one member.
It's just gonna be the Pure Fusion. It's just gonna be really, it was just called the Lesbians, and now it's just gonna be the Lesbian.
Correct.
So, it's gonna be. That was just wild. AOP, you kind of saw it coming because you saw more carrying cross and less of all of them.
You're not wrong.
It was just like, where the fuck is everyone else? Like, it was just like, because usually, they would be like as a clique, and it was just like, okay, Carrion out here talking too much. Where the rest of these motherfuckers at? Kind of threw everything for a loop there.
Was Final
So
Testament
yeah,
still feuding with the Wyatt Six?
the Six, yes. The last thing we knew is that they beat the brakes off the Wyatt Six. Da- But AOP never really got right when they got back. So that's a whole, you know what I mean?
Right. Name me one match that they had in WWE since coming back.
So it was just, and if you can't stand out in a tag team division that is this weak, you know what I'm saying? It's an issue.
No, you're not wrong.
Because it's not like it's not like that they got held behind depth. It was just
I kind of feel
not standing out at all.
I feel like it's kind of the final, in my opinion, the final nail in Cross's coffin, because he couldn't even get these guys over, in a group.
Yeah. I don't think it was Cross's job to get him over, though.
I mean, they didn't necessarily.
Personally,
I mean, when you have two motherfuckers behind you that look like brick houses, I mean, you should be a presence, and you should be a force. And it should have been a lot more than it actually was, and it wasn't.
right, right. It should have been, but it should have been, and that is why they should have never joined the faction because when they were in NXT, they were just dope on their own.
And right, I mean, and having Paul Eldering in that faction added nothing to the faction. Paul is the speaker,
Right.
and they had him as the little buddy. Like that, you're not using Paul properly.
I think they met, well, the whole thing I think they were thinking was that Paul was going to be the mouthpiece for him, but they didn't anticipate Carrion getting better on the mic
Did he get better on the mic?
or he got better enough to get rid of Paul Ellering. I mean, I mean, you can't knock that, right? He got better enough to where they were comfortable with him having segments with everyone in the roster and cutting promos with the Miz.
I mean, okay, I could get behind that, I suppose.
I mean, I'm not saying that he's like CM Punk, but what I'm saying is that compared to where he was, he's way better than what, you know what I mean?
Right.
Compared to where he was, it's a 180.
I mean, is Carrion actually lucky that he wasn't a part of these releases?
Who?
Carrion Cross.
No, I don't. Nah. I think he was gonna be okay.
Well, I mean, is he going to be okay now? I mean, literally, his biggest thing was that he was the final testament with these guys. He has no testament, and he's still in a rivalry with the Wyatts. So, I mean, talk about
I don't think.
cutting
Nah,
somebody's legs.
he's gonna be in a rivalry with Zayn.
Oh, that's right.
He's not with. He's not going with the Wyatt. He's going with Sammy, and he's being the thorn in Sammy's side because he's basically. And to be quite honest, he is right. I I ain't finna hold it past him. He's kind of right. He's kind of right.
But, I don't really see it
Motherfuckers,
as.
motherfuckers got a point.
Well, I mean, he always has a point, yet he still can't get over that point.
Well, the thing I keep telling you is the story with Carrion is the fact that everyone that he's interacted with has not been the same.
But it means nothing if it
It
doesn't.
means a lot.
If it doesn't.
It means a lot.
But if it doesn't benefit him, then why even do it?
Well, does he have to win for it to benefit him? Because the thing of it is that
I'm not even saying get a W, but I'm saying at least get on a fucking PLE.
no, not everything is PLE because his thing is long term. Every person that he's fought with has changed their ways after fucking with him. I keep telling y'all this. Shinsuke, AJ, Miz, uh, New Day. I mean, everybody he's been fucking with has changed, and that's a little subtle thing that people don't think about. Like the person's character changes fucking with him.
But I mean, I don't think.
And I'm not saying, and that's not even. It's like this. He's the person where it's wins and losses is not as important as he took a piece of you. And he took a piece of you that you thought that you were right and indignant, you were right about. And
but like we were talking about, he's feuding with Sammy right now. It's not gonna go anywhere. He's not getting a WrestleMania match against Sammy. We're more than likely going to see something between Owens, Sammy, and Orton at Mania. More than likely.
I could no, because what's gonna happen is Sammy starting to get into this crossroads with himself. Sammy's been fucking it. I mean, the fact that he's there, he's a thorn in Sammy's side that Sammy knows he's right, but he's trying to be better than, right? It's the Batman Joker thing. It's just like there's both a Batman and a Joker inside of us. It's just a matter of which one we answer to. And Carrion is slowly tempting him to that other side. Because he's like, oh, I see you're happy for Jay, but here you are. Da, 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 da. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's and it's not like it doesn't take that much. It just takes a hint of truth for it to, you know what I mean?
Well, he's definitely not going to do it with the Final Testament. AOP behind him. Maybe they'll go back to doing that wrestling entertainment show that they wanted to do in. I don't want to say it was in Dubai, but somewhere in the Middle East. So maybe that's where we'll see them next. Like you said, Cedric Alexander is probably going to go to AEW. More than likely a lock. Sonya Deville. Do you think we'll see her in the TNA? Question mark?
Does she still got the donut shop?
What?
I remember her and Mandy had a donut shop.
Are we talking about actual donuts like Dunkin' and Krispy Kreme, or are we talking about the kind of donuts that
Not the bakery. We talking about literally
Okay.
the actual donuts, not the bakery.
Okay. Just wanted to make that clear.
That is very clear. Lima Charlie with the donuts.
I mean, maybe she makes content with Mandy on OnlyFans. Who knows?
Oh God, no!
I mean, you say
Don't
oh
do
God
that.
no, but more than likely you know it's coming.
Nah. I mean, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I cannot say no because I did not see Lacey Evans taking that turn, and it just yes,
Yeah.
shocking to
When
say the least. Shocking.
went from telling people that go to OnlyFans you need Jesus in your life to needing Jesus in her life.
I mean, this is the Jesus. I mean, I go to that church anyway.
Will you stop it?
That is a church I will give my tithes and offering to.
In all seriousness, do you see a TNA and Sonya Deville's future? I don't necessarily. Would AEW even take her at this point?
I mean, they need some bodies that are going to have to get. They're going to need bodies because they just lost one of their biggest one in Jordan Grace. So basically, it'll be a trade. But if that was the case, Sonya Deville would have been at. I mean, she would have been there, right?
What do you mean there?
She would. I mean, with the partnership.
I mean, she still can.
I guess I'm just saying.
I mean,
I thought I mean, because if they were gonna send her to TNA, they would have just said, "Hey,
Go here. You go here now.
we already here." You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, there is, a good possibility just stays away from pro wrestling. Like I said, everything that she's been in, it kind of does start off strong, but it just kind of ends with a whimper rather than a bang, in my opinion. So, I mean, there wasn't too much more they could do with her. And, I mean, no disrespect to Sonya Deville, she wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire with, pure pro wrestling ability either.
I think that was probably the bigger downfall for her. But I mean, because I think she's more MMA, and you know, if you got Shayna Baszler, it's like kind of hard. You got one. You already got a girl,
Right.
and she's really good. So it's like, yeah, I don't need you there, but it's like, yeah, or just let that ride out.
One name that
But
one name that really shocked me was Blair Davenport, because we could all see, the holes in, why this person got, fired, not necessarily, setting the pro wrestling world on fire, so to speak, but
hmm
I feel like Blair didn't even get an opportunity to, do something. She was just they drew her on a Madison Square Garden show, cold as fucking ice, and they kind of expected her to swim when they didn't tell her how to, swim
how to
for
ride the tide.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's low key. I kind of feel like that's on WWE, not on her. But I digress.
I
But
mean,
mhm.
yeah, and this kind of with those. I mean, is it they're just getting ahead of the curve of the eventual, usually post Mania cuts? I mean, to me, that seems more like the case.
I mean, I guess, but like I said, I don't think that they really tried to use her. She just kind of fell to the wayside. Um,
Well, getting used, I mean, to her, how can I say it? She was not in the bakery. Let's put it that way.
I mean, she
The
was
the
at the.
the bakery,
I mean, she was in the bakery at
bro.
one point.
No, 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 not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Not in Shawn Michaels' bakery. She wasn't part of those dozens.
She wasn't part of that era.
Ah, buddy. But then again, I mean, yeah, because I mean, think about it. When Julia the core came in, it was kind of like, yeah, some of them were numbered, and if you weren't standing out, you were gonna, you know what I mean?
I got you.
Because I mean, you could make the argument that Blair is probably a better wrestler than Lola Vice.
I disagree with that.
Really?
I mean, yeah, Lola Vice knocked Shayna Baszler out and then danced on her corpse. I mean, you don't get
Well,
more badass than that.
I mean, the point that I'm making with that is, I mean, Blair is more seasoned than Lola.
But I mean, Lola's
Is
Lola.
kind of the point that I'm making. But no, the point I'm making is that Lola's had more moments than Blair
True.
in the shorter time that she's been there.
I
You see what
agree
I'm
with that.
saying? That's what I'm getting at. So you've been there, and I'm not saying that it's her fault, but it's just like, okay, you really didn't stand out. Not saying that it's your fault, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
compared to compared to other people that's been there in a shorter span.
I agree with that. So, you see her going back to England, maybe a Rev Pro.
I could see her doing that, but I could just see her doing her thing on the Indies, resting up. I mean, she is engaged. She's probably getting ready for a wedding.
I mean, quite possibly. Yeah.
There ain't no possibly that's gonna happen unless some, you know, unless some wild ass shit pop off between now and then. But
Well, speaking of wild ass shit, Charlotte Flair divorced Andrade, if you believe rumor and innuendo. Um,
no, it's official. She filed them papers.
okay then.
She pulled her Ursha to sign them papers. She
So,
trying to catch up to her dad in divorces and championships.
you
Shit, like,
stole my line. You stole my line.
like shit. That apple ain't falling far from the tree. But what I will say is this, nigga, you ain't going through three divorces telling me all of was the problem, nigga. There's a least common denominator. And don't get me wrong, Charlotte is a sweetheart. I'm not even knocking her. Well, from my interactions with her, she's been nothing but the sweetest thing ever.
When was that?
But
What year?
but but goddamn, I mean, what 2017
Okay,
in 2019, 2017, 2019,
okay, so that's before the
right
whole.
when she was fucking with, no, she was fucking with Andrade in 2019. As a matter of fact, I seen them fucking around with each other at the Royal Rumble
Hmm,
in Aaron Phoenix.
well,
They were right behind me, like holding hands, all that lovey-dovey shit. I didn't say shit, but I was just like, oh, okay, I feel you.
you see, you understand what's going on. You've
Yeah, I
had
was like, okay, I understand the assignment.
you've had the birds and bees conversation. You know what's going on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, I'm not knocking on your parade, homie.
Yeah, I can't
But
imagine how
I,
Andrade feels. He's getting served these papers, and he's like, "Who is this woman?" And she's like, "I'm Charlotte." I said, "Damn, I didn't even know that was you."
damn, that's fucked up. You know what? It's just like,
I
there
mean,
was a movie I was
tell me
watching,
that
and
she
they
does.
were like,
Tell me that she doesn't look completely different from the last time we saw her 2 years ago.
oh,
It's a
man,
it's a brand new face.
she don't look like the same person from 10 years ago, like, let alone 2 years ago. Like 10 years ago, she was a cutie. I don't know what the.
Like, I mean, if they saw off any more of her face, she's just going to have no face.
God damn it, sir.
But I digress. Going
I mean, it it is what it is with that one. I mean,
going
Andrade probably living this peaceful life right now. Just ain't got to deal with that shit. Go, man, because she the one who filed, so that tells me like she was ready to go. He just like he probably was like, "Shoot, go, bitch, go."
He's tranquilo now.
Yeah, he's he's like he trying to get his Los Ingobernables.
Hey Naruto, what you doing in New Japan?
You know what I'm saying? Shit, fuck, boy, hanging with the homie Roosh. Fuck it, fuck it.
going back
But
down.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I mean, it, it, it- you know what's crazy is that all that popped off after she was like last year sucked, and people still didn't give a fuck. But we'll get to that later down the road. Oh my God.
yeah.
Okay.
We got a full review of that. um,
Whew.
Going back down to the bakery, Shawn Michaels' famous bakery. They brought back a famous donut, and that was I won Fandango. He'll be wrestling Lexus King for the Heritage Cup. I believe next week on NXT. Look, kind of cool to see him back in NXT. Obviously a one-off. He does work for TNA. Didn't even go by Fandango, but JDC or whatever they call him in the unit or the electrical sorts or whatever that group is called. Um, but one thing I found interesting is with that partnership with TNA is a one Natalia Neidhart did an interview or just made comments in general, stating that she'd like to wrestle a one Masha Slamovich for the TNA Women's Championship. We could all agree that Natty is kind of where she is, and that's just okay. Um, but
Not okay. I'm not okay. But
well,
that's
you're not okay. But I do kind of like the idea of Natalia going down to TNA, and actually maybe teaching these girls a thing or two about pro wrestling. Obviously she is a name, and I do think that it would do those girls wonders to have a Natalia to work with, and love Masha, but wrestling Natalia might actually do wonders for her. You know what I mean? But we'll
I
see.
get it, but I mean, you might as well. It ain't like y'all planning to do shit else with her. Might as well let her live her best life.
I mean, yeah, why not?
I mean, shit. The other than the Rumble, the last time we saw her was
Cue Jeopardy music.
yes, play that Jeopardy music. Yes, you damn right. So there you go.
So I think that,
So I mean, shit.
and it's saying something with it says something about Natalia that she's in the Royal Rumble, meh, but getting her down to TNA, oh, that might actually be something. That might actually be a fun time. So
I
there
mean,
might be something there.
consider. I mean, I will say this: she got a better pop than Charlotte.
But she didn't get a better. She got a better pop than Nikki Bella did.
No one was expecting Nikki Bella.
Nobody cared about
And
Nikki
Nikki
Bella.
and Nikki the the problem is with
We'll get
the
to
thing
Nikki
with Nick
Bella when we do the promo.
the thing with Nikki is that she was a diva and a ring full of wrestlers. That's what the fuck happened to her.
The only match I want to see Nikki Bella have is against Princess Ozzy of WoW. Trader versus Trader.
Oh wow.
Yes, Princess. For anybody,
Um,
for context, Princess Ozzy was on the Australian version of the Traders. Nikki Bella currently on the American version of the Traders.
and now you got me looking at photos of Charlotte from 10 years ago, man.
Well, if you happen to find the picture, there's a picture of what she looked in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, and you just see you know, all the changes from from year to
Oh
year.
no, no, just from fucking oh gosh, from 2014 to now. I mean, shit, what NXT was what 2013, 20.
I mean,
Yes, I'm looking at
the women's
2013 to
yeah,
now.
women's revolution was 2015. So
I mean, shit, just no. I mean, yeah, nah, nah. Man, look,
maybe she was having an
it's.
affair with her plastic surgeon. I mean, clearly she sees him more than she did on Andrade.
I mean, yeah, I'm just looking through it. It's like rough, rough.
I mean, you don't have to tell me.
I can't. I mean, she went from oh, she's kind of cute to like what? But everybody yelling all that, and Charlotte say, "I want to put it on you." They ain't gonna say no. So I mean,
Yep,
but
that don't work for
the,
me, brother.
that oh, y'all.
Should it be like that? That don't work for me, brother, or should it be that don't work for me, sister?
I mean, maybe it's just that day. Maybe it was just that day because we'll see. We'll see down the line. But anywho's back to the original topic.
What was the
Natty,
original topic?
natty wrestling Masha Slamovich,
Yes.
which okay, I mean she's got nothing to lose. I think what Cora isn't Cora Jade fighting her eventually.
I mean, eventually, I feel yeah, that's going to happen.
So Cora let Cora get her experience and then let Natty show her how it's done. Let the boat get on Masha.
That ship may have sailed.
Eh, it hasn't sailed like Sting Taker sailed, but it's still there.
Maybe this boat has sailed. Maybe it hasn't. Or maybe somebody's just backtracking. Samantha Irvin, guaranteed that she will return to pro wrestling one day. Is that somebody backtracking or what?
Uh, Samantha Irvin burnt a couple bridges after she left. So yeah, that ain't. I mean, it ain't happening for WWE. That's for damn sure.
Maybe
Because I mean,
maybe on AEW.
if they wanted her on AEW, she would have been at AEW.
I mean,
Honestly, I think she's trying to pop off albums on me. She's too busy trying to drop an album.
that's what I was gonna say. She's for more focusing more on her music career, and pro, in quotations. Um, but I mean, when that doesn't go well, obviously, a return to pro wrestling seems, prevalent. But if the WWE doesn't want her, then it's kind of pointless.
I mean, not really. I mean, you can. I mean, the Bucks have shown you can make it out of WWE without it. It's just that she
But she's
unexpectedly
not a wrestler.
became. Yeah, my point is that her becoming famous came out the blue. It ain't like what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, she became more famous yelling people's names than, her actual husband was wrestling those names.
It's fucked up. Damn, that's a burn, but it's true. I can't say no.
Stop me when I'm telling lies.
Hey, I mean, yeah, but no disrespect, Ricochet,
All
but
disrespect, disrespect Ricochet.
damn, wow, all disrespect, Prince Puma. No disrespect, Prince Puma. Um,
What does Puma promos haven't
Yeah,
been anything.
I get your point. I can't even knock you on it. It's just, it is what it is.
I mean, the problem, with her was, and I do think that this was a part of WWE's problem as well, not just her own. She wanted to do more than just ring announcing, and she kind of got pigeonholed into that role where, as we're seeing her real personality coming out right now, they could have stuck her with Ricochet, and they could have been the biggest heels in WWE right now. I mean, maybe on the level with New Day, with how much they could have been hated by the fans. It was
I mean,
definitely a missed opportunity on their part, but that's on WWE side.
no, because when Ricochet was there, he was a face, and who was that? Logan Paul was whooping his ass.
Yeah, I mean he couldn't get over as a face, and I don't want to say it's working in AEW, but at least he's leaning
I
more
mean,
into the fact that people don't like him and is trying to work with that.
well, that's all you can do. Honestly, shit, what the fuck else are you supposed to do? If, yeah, that's all you can do is lean into it. But with Samantha, it's just, I don't know. I wouldn't think she would go back to WWE because I think WWE got rubbed off the wrong way about how it's not what she said. It was just more the attitude on the way out
Right,
that made it seem like, and I could see WWE being like, well, damn, we didn't know. You know what I mean?
right.
I think they kind of knew, but it's kind of like one of those things where they do something and they expect them to be cool, and they were like, "Well, damn, I didn't know we weren't your friends." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, oh shit, like that's fuck. So I see that bridge being burned. So it's gonna have to be in the indie context, and I wouldn't see her not not. I wouldn't see her not leaving Ricochet.
I think that she kind of felt because obviously she got a really big fan base for literally no reason, if we're being completely honest, in the wrestling world, where
Really? For nothing?
wrestling. Well, I mean, you didn't see Lillian Garcia or Tony Chimmel getting that kind of following.
It was because of them yams and that Instagram Wednesday, the
So,
bakery,
the Simps,
the
the
the bakery.
the wrestling Simps latched onto her and they liked her. And when she left, she thought that uh, those Simps would carry over into her music career. It did not translate, so now she wants to go back where she's obviously being more successful. My opinion.
Trying to say doth not compute.
Yes. Error code 505.
Oh God. Oh my God. Man, leave that girl. Hey, she just with her, she made that choice. So as long as she's at peace with it, she wanted to go back to music. Let her be. She gonna go back to wrestling. I do not see her being with the E.
Right. I'm not knocking her decision, but, obviously it was her decision in the end. That obviously
You
did not.
knocking them wrestling simps though. You fucking.
Um, Obviously, in a couple of minutes, we will be talking about the Royal Rumble in full. But I did feel like this was a story on its own that we should kind of highlight because it might get lost in the shuffle. Talking about the Royal Rumble because there's so much to talk about. And that is that Drew McIntyre um, was eliminated by Damian Priest in the Royal Rumble. If you watch the clip back, you can see that LA Knight maybe got in the way of the segment happening, which kind of caused things to look a little wonky, to say the least. Um, if you believe rumor and innuendo, and Drew McIntyre literally tells you don't believe it in rumor and innuendo,
Innuendo.
Drew McIntyre was legitimately pissed when he came back through the curtain. Uh, told the people backstage that uh, these these fucking wrestlers are trying to get their shit in above the storylines that are going on, and he left the building before the Rumble actually ended. Um, some of the other wrestlers in the match, like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, etc., that knew what was going to happen, was also upset and got heat on A1 LA Knight. If, again, you believe in the rumor and innuendo that Drew told you not to believe in. It is worth noting. It is worth noting that Drew and LA had a segment on SmackDown last night as well.
Yeah.
And some of the verbiage used was directly taken from those rumor and innuendos. So,
Innuendos. So basically, don't believe in the rumor and innuendos unless we actually use the rumor and innuendo words. But please don't believe in the rumor. But that doesn't mean that the rumor and innuendo is true. Like, got you sitting there like, what the fuck is the? Who the fuck we supposed to believe then? Like that, essentially.
believe in Drew McIntyre. And believe in Joe Henry. I believe in Joe Henry.
Oh yes, I mean Sheamus believed in Joe Hendry for all about 30 seconds.
Yes, he did. And he was
So
enjoying it too. I
there
think,
you go. So
Loki, I think they know each other, so obviously.
there you go. So I mean, but I mean, but that, but them using that means that the shit actually happened the way it happened. So that means to believe in the rumor and innuendo. Am I right on that?
Um, Loki, I like whether it was real or not that WWE used it against the spoiler sheets. Smart booking on their part. I do, I do feel like where there's smoke, there's somewhat of a fire, but obviously not California level fires. I think
N-
I,
Not Palisades.
I didn't want to say Palisade specifically, but yeah. I feel like Drew probably got pissed that it happened the way that it happened, but I don't feel like at some point like cooler heads prevailed at the end, and it wasn't like I'm going to bury LA Knight because he was in the way for 10 seconds. You know what I mean? I think it was just, a miscalculation, a botch in the match, but he got over it. That's all I'm gonna say. What say you?
I, I mean, that's probably what happened. More than likely, that's what happened. I think it happened, and Drew just assumed the worst before everyone even got to talk, right? Because
Right.
keep in mind, when they're going in the backstage after the Rumble, it's not like everyone. I think the only people that were sitting there waiting on people was Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. Way to break kayfabe. Anyway, uh, 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 but with that being said, yeah, it just happened, and I'm betting you they just kind of, because I could see them getting eliminated and then just going to get their shit so they can get ready for the next town. Um, and Drew came back pissed, and they probably never got to talking. And now that they finally got to talking, that it kind of calmed down, like you just said. So,
Right. Alright, I think that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE Royal Rumble. Took place last Saturday in Indianapolis, Indiana, um, at the George Lucas Oil Stadium. Attendance was 70,347. What is the capacity for this arena?
Lucas Oil,
Yeah.
one. Oh,
Uh,
what did I say? Probably a little bit less than that. I mean,
70,000. It's 70,000.
depending on, yeah, because I'm like a football game. It's probably less than that.
Yeah. Um, but it was what it was supposed to be. So, I mean, obviously it was a sellout. So, um, a little less than we're used to for matches, but obviously they were important matches, excluding the tag team championship match. Um,
That was important. How dare you?
I didn't say boring. I said important.
I said it was important. I said, how dare you?
I thought that this was a good Royal Rumble. Um, it had moments. It did what it kind of was supposed to. We have obviously a clear vision of, a clear oral vision of what's going to happen for WrestleMania. But what say you? What did you think of the show overall?
Um, the show overall was good. You remember last week when we were talking about, oh my God, the women's Royal Rumble was better than the men's and so on and so forth. It felt like they did the inverse. And
Yes,
just,
I agree.
but I will say this though, that Royal Rumble was probably the best Royal Rumble I've seen for the men's ever.
It's definitely been a hot minute since there's been a very memorable Royal Rumble for the men's side of things. Uh, yeah. So, um, I don't want to say the best ever for sure, but it definitely did what it was supposed to. Like, I
Oh
mean,
no, 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 no. It was the best ever. Well, we'll get into it. We'll fuck it. Let's just get into it. We might as well just start there, right? Just go.
let
Fuck it. We're not gonna.
let's do it in order. We don't want to. Let's.
You start top down. You start top down.
But then we're ending with probably the worst match, the women's Royal Rumble.
Well, it was the most predictable Royal Rumble.
I mean, it wasn't a bad Royal Rumble on the women's side. It's
I never said yeah, it wasn't bad.
yeah. The Dirty Women Royal Rumble match, Charlotte Flair won by last eliminating Roxanne Perez. It went an hour, 10 minutes, and 20 seconds. Participants being Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Lara Valkyria, Chelsea Green, BFAB, Ivy Nile, Zoe Starks, Last Legend, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, Bayley, Sonya Deville, Maxine Dupree, no, Naomi, Jada Parker, Piper Niven, Natalia, Jordan Grace, Michigan, Alexa Bliss, Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, Stephanie Vacker, Trish Stratus, uh, Rachel Rodriguez, Charlotte Flair, Julia, Nia Jax, and Nikki Bella. Um, Funny how, everybody had some type of association. Obviously, Trish Stratus was a Hall of Fame surprise. Every year they have, a legend in there. But it's funny, like, just maybe, like, what, 3 years ago, we were we started this relationship with TNA because they didn't have women to be in this Royal Rumble. No?
Yeah, now they ain't got that many to put in. Uh, it was fun. It was very. I mean, the bakery got all of it. And Jada wasn't married. The core and Julia, man, it was just like, well, let me get my perverted mind out of this. Anyways, um, it was a stack. I mean, from a name perspective, it was stacked. From a, I will say this: was it a memorable Royal Rumble? No, and it was a great Royal Rumble for the younger talent because I think this is the first time where the younger talent got to really shine. One in Roxanne Perez. That means that for her to be the Iron Woman, that kind of tells you what they think of her.
After
And consider she's only 23?
after
I mean, Roxanne,
WrestleMania, her ass is going to the main roster. I mean, it's just a
oh
matter of
yeah,
time.
no shit. And then I, to me, Roxanne Perez to me is kind of what Paige should have been, if that makes sense.
Paige without bad habits?
Paige without a tape
Fair
and bad
enough.
habits.
Fair enough.
But I mean, but what I'm saying, I mean, and the injury. Let me scratch that without the injury, because I think the sky's the limit for that girl. And but it was great moments. There was the one moment where they had what was it, Jordan Grace and Naomi hugging, and Bianca's like, "What the fuck is it?"
Yes.
That was dope. The moment when they had Jada, Lash, Naomi, Bianca, it was like Black Women's Month up in that bitch. And then Chelsea Green tried to go into the cookout, and they were like not having it. Did not know Lash Legend was that tall, and I did not know she was a WNBA player. I was like, oh shit.
I mean, that makes sense.
I was like, well, she's tall. And I was like, well, you had to be in the league. The league. But anyways, but all in all, I mean, the person that we thought was going to win won the bitch because it was kind of like no clear front runner. And I think that's what kind of killed it in a sense, because there was no suspense.
I get that. Yeah. I mean, the only other person that people uh, maybe felt like had a shot at it was Bailey, I would say. Would I be wrong in that? Or maybe Naya? I don't feel like they would have gave it to Naya.
I was thinking Liv because she was a runner-up 202 years in a row.
Yeah.
I was thinking Liv, Charlotte, Bailey. Nia was a push because of the whole we don't know was she's at Raw and is she ever going to get back with Tiffy time, try to get her revenge, and it's just too many there. But there was no clear cut. I mean, honestly, there is no clear cut picture for the women's when it came to Mania, and it was Charlotte winning, and Charlotte doing the thing that she did fucking 5 years ago. Oh, I'm gonna go to all the fucking um um brands, which makes sense to her because she gains nothing beating Tiffany. She gains nothing beating Rhea.
Does she really gain anything by winning the NXT Championship again?
I think Julia would gain more with that than anything. Tiffany would gain with Charlotte. I think Charlotte's win is a better way to showcase the younger talent. And Rhea teasing as a triple, was it a trilogy? But the problem is that they tried to push Charlotte as this. I'm happy to be back and please cheer for me because I was going through some shit and the crowd was not fucking having it at all. And the reason they weren't having it at all because they kind of knew she was gonna win the moment her ass announced it. So that's where it kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's where that comes in. So, like I think we were talking offline. You said the internet was mad. Yeah, the internet was mad on all the winners. But then again, I don't really deal with the internet because they always got something to complain about.
Correct.
We're fickle. We are fickle.
That
Well, I'm not fickle, but I'm not fickle,
give
but
me a
a
time when
lot of people are fickle.
give me a time when the internet wasn't pissed off at what happened. Um,
Yeah.
when they were actually happy that somebody won or did something. Like literally when a title changes hands, the first post you see is okay, who's gonna beat this person for this championship? Like he just won it 10 minutes ago. Like really?
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, my question was when they were like, well, not even for Charlotte, but for Jay too. I mean, I, no, put Jay aside. We'll get to that. Well, who was the right choice to win other than Charlotte?
I would I would likely say people would have wanted Alexa Bliss to win. If there was no other option, Lexi got the biggest pop of the night, and that's men or women.
Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
But you're gonna I mean, I can't, I can see their point because Charlotte's first match coming back in the Rumble, she won the bitch. Um, so I can see the argument in that. The the only other argument I have against it is that Charlotte is the gatekeeper for the women's division, whether most people like it or not.
Yes.
She's the fucking bar. And you can make the argument she is Miss WrestleMania more than Sasha Banks.
100%.
So why wouldn't you put her in a match, win, lose, or draw against any of those people? Because here's the thing, people are gonna want to watch her get her ass kicked. That's the value.
Right.
And that's where people kind of get lost in the sauce. Even with Rhea coming back and was begging, oh, but and Rhea told her, I'm not that same person, and you still disrespect me, even though I gave you the respect. But going back to the Rumble, Charlotte won. It was the right call that I seen because there was no clear cut. So to
Right.
me, people bitching, it is what it is.
I agree. Um, I think there was. I think this was a solid Royal Rumble. Obviously they didn't have the star power that they've had in the years past, but we got to see, and good call on you, Jada Parker and Last Legend. I did not see them being in there, but you called that last week, and obviously Julia and Stephanie, yeah, they definitely deserve to be in there as well. Um, and obviously Alexa Bliss being coming back was the biggest moment of the Rumble. Funny
Of
how
the Rumble, yeah.
Nikki Bella was number 30 and there were crickets. Literally crickets. Like, I think people got their expectations high that AJ Lee was going to be a part of this,
That's another part.
but I feel like I'm not gonna believe AJ Lee is gonna be there unless AJ Lee actually shows up at this point. Maybe they were disappointed on that. Maybe they were just disappointed to see Nikki Bella, generally speaking. Um, I don't even know why Nikki Bella was there. Maybe she needs money for a lawyer because her divorce right now. Um, but yeah,
True. I mean, that could be the case, but I think it was just a one off. And the reason that it didn't go well is because even though it wasn't a star studded WrestleMania, you could make the argument this is the best wrestling talent women's WrestleMania, right? Like there was every name was a legit athlete slash wrestler. You think even with Trish, you think of Trish as a diva, but she morphed herself into a wrestler. Um, and it like I just told you, she was a diva in a wrestling match.
I can't remember. Did you say that on air or was that while we were talking off air?
I have no idea, but it was like 29 versus 1 when that bitch came out because, or it might as well have been 29 versus 1 because Nia Jax is more of a wrestler and she is probably the most hated wrestler, but she is nonetheless considered a wrestler and an athlete more so than Nikki Bella. No shade to Nikki, but
All say to Nikki.
I mean, yeah, because think about it. Who's better, Nikki Bella, Roxanne Perez?
Roxanne Perez. And I don't even like
Who's
Roxanne
better?
Perez.
I mean, I like Roxanne Perez.
Low key, I
Uh,
feel she's overrated.
Nikki Bella ain't. I mean, I'm not even putting Julia and them in this. Jada Parker. Nikki Bella, Jada Parker.
Ooh, now you're towing the line.
I'm just saying. Nikki Bella, Jada Parker.
Yeah. Maybe Nikki Bella.
Oh, you man, you tripping. Anyways, Nikki Bella, Lash Legend.
Nikki Bella. I still haven't forgiven.
See,
I have not forgiven
see,
Lash
see.
Legend for those horrible skits she did at the beginning of NXT 2.0.
Oh, oh God, man, just let it go. Anywho, but my point is that it was a women's wrestling match, and that diva showed up, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is she doing here?"
Right.
And I mean personally, I think she was just a name. Like I said, it what it lacked in name power, it made up for in talent and new generation shining.
I agree. Alright, how many stars do you give the Women's Royal Rumble?
Personally, 3.5 because I like the fact that the new talent showed. What killed me was that we knew Charlotte was winning. I, that's what killed it for me personally.
I agree. I give it a solid B. Well, 3. A solid 3 stars. There you go.
Oh man, and that means we got another episode of Guess That Rating. I know we need for that shit.
What could I do here? Um,
So let's guess it. What did Uncle Daddy Meltzer
there you go.
give this match?
2.5.
Higher.
2 7/5.
Oh gosh, that quarter shit gonna kill you. It's higher.
3.
3.5.
3.5. Really?
Yeah, I mean, me and Uncle Dave were on the same wavelength, at least on that one.
Interesting. Alright, now we got a 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tomato Ciampa defeated Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin in 14 minutes. Not gonna lie, this was the P break match for me. What I did see was okay. Didn't necessarily have a problem with it. But I think the highlight of the match for me was, you know, Street Profits, getting that smoke at the end of the match. Not necessarily being good guys, kind of being on, the tweener side. So, um, that was my perspective. What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, it was a solid match, and the profits coming in from a storyline perspective made sense because if you've been here, if you've been been there as long as the profits has been, and you see a tag team pop up and just like get the title shot you feel that you deserve, you'll feel some type of way.
Yeah.
And they just decided to take it out on good old Motor City Machine Guns there.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it helped Gargano and them make up for the fact that they got killer comboed in Cleveland. So at least they walk out with some kind of dignity in that regard. So I mean, and the right team won because DIY is coming into themselves as the team that could be beat, but they're too busy stirring the pot with everyone else to keep everyone busy on everything except them,
Right.
which I have no problem with, I must say.
How many stars you give this one?
Uh, to me, three. It didn't wow me, but it didn't kill me. How about that?
Fair enough. 2.5. Like I said, I didn't see all of it, so I can't judge. Maybe the first fall. But like I said, what I saw, I didn't mind. It didn't wow me. It wasn't. It was a good filler match for what it needed to be. Between the Royal Rumble match and the ladder match.
Essentially, you took a 30-minute pee break, is what you're trying to say.
The match was only 14 minutes. Maybe seven of those was in the bathroom, but I digress.
Hey, man, hey, at least you could have been like, getting a drink or something.
Well, I did get I needed to replenish afterwards.
Oh, gosh.
um, Uncle Dave gave this 3.5,
Uncle Dave, what? Lower.
2.5,
Higher.
2 7/5.
3.25.
3.25. Huh. Okay.
I
Now,
mean, maybe because they gave it maybe the solid three was because the Motor City Machine Guns used to the Bucks. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. That brings us to the Undisputed WWE Championship ladder match. Cody Rhodes defeated Kevin Owens in 25 minutes and 5 seconds. Um, you know, it's hard to do anything new in a ladder match or, get the crowd going or have an interesting match when it comes to ladder matches, considering we've seen everything. But I really feel like this was really well done. It wasn't, 25 minutes of high spots and flip floppy shit. You know, they paced themselves. They had the big moments when they mattered. What they did do to each other looked gnarly as hell. Like, it seemed like they were really trying to hurt each other, which, you know, that's what you're supposed to do in a wrestling match.
Hmm.
That I think we're forever going to see those pictures of Cody Rhodes on the table over Kevin Owens like dead corpse. But I think that if I'm being completely honest, I think this was Cody Rhodes' best title defense to date, and I think it was his most memorable match that he's had as well. What say you?
This was his best, most violent. How can I put it? You remember when I, to me Cody was like, you remember when the Street Profits used to be not get taken seriously, and then when the Street Profits started whooping motherfuckers in the parking lot, you were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This was his oh shit. Like this was his oh shit. There is that side. There is a because it always seemed like Cody was trying to be quite honest, he was Sami Zayn with the belt, trying to take the high road with shit.
Hmm. Okay.
And this was just one of them nights where he was just like, fuck it, you want to take it there, we'll take it there. Because the look in his face, even because it made him look like a champion that was seeing red because the blatant disregard when he threw the Alabama Slammer and got the title, and the fact that he decided to jump on the table and raise them belts in front of Kevin Owens' dead carcass was like something that you usually don't see from him.
Right.
Right, like he usually would just win the match, do his little celebration in the ring, and then go about his business. He made it a point to go right. I ain't even gonna lie to you. When I saw like the scene with like Kevin Owens laying on the ground and Sammy looking up at Cody, it looked like Rocky Four. It literally reminded me of Rocky Four. Like fucking Apollo Creed just knocked out and just, you know what I'm saying? It just looked like if he dies type shit. Like I was like, yo, Cody brought out that College Park, Georgia in him. That's what he went to Bankhead with this one. But and yeah, I mean, I guess that's what made it memorable in the sense that he took it as I'm just gonna do what I need to do to beat his ass. Not. It wasn't his. I'm gonna do what it takes to win the belt for the people. It was like, no, I'm gonna fuck you up,
Right.
and it worked. Now the question is, does this start that genesis of heel turn? And that's the real question.
Good question.
And and depending on who he fights, it just might well be.
All right. Well, how many stars you give this one?
Me personally, I, th- this was probably the best I mean, there's only 4 matches. This was the best non-wrestling match, the non-Royal Rumble match of the night. So, I mean, 4.5?
1.5?
Just because of I mean, to me,
Do you mean 4.5 or 1.5?
4.5.
4.5. Okay.
Yeah, 4, like 4.5.
Okay.
Like, because of the emotion, the wild card of Sammy in the cost of him not choosing to interfere, but she's paying the price. And he's paying that price in space. And the fact that, yeah, it was just it was a very violent ladder match.
It was.
There was some spots I was like, oh shit. like, like there was some spots like, bro, you dead. Like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like, y'all trying to go to Kaiser tonight. That,
Um, yeah. I think this is deserving of 4.5. It was a good, memorable Royal Rumble, non Royal Rumble match. Um, we don't get it every year, but yeah, I definitely think that this was a solid, great match that ended a really good rivalry. Alright, Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave.
4.25.
Ooh, so close. Fire.
4.5.
4.5.
Okay.
I told you, hey, we on this wavelength.
Uncle Dave Uncle Dave was generous with the stars on this one.
I mean, it was 4 matches. He can't like bullshit his way through
He could absolutely bullshit his way through, and you know that.
to a. He could bullshit his way through a 4 match card.
All right, and that uh, brings us to the Dirty Man Royal Rumble match. Um, the winner was a one Jey Uso yeet by last eliminating John Cena in 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 15 seconds. The participants in order are Rey Mysterio, Penta, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, Santos Escobar, Otis, Braun Breaker, ISO Speed, Sheamus, Jimmy Uso, Andrade, Jacob Fuck You, Ludwig Kaiser Permanente Roll, The Miz, Joe Hendry, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Jey Uso, AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, LA Knight, and Logan Paul. Uh, I feel like this was a tale of two Royal Rumbles.
Royal Rumbles, exactly. We're on the same page because it
All
was like the first 15, and then there
yes,
was the second 15.
it was like, okay, let's get the lemmings out first. No disrespect to Joe Hendry.
Yeah,
Um,
no disrespect, but we just gonna have to get y'all out the way. It was like the first 15, like, okay, we gonna give y'all spots, but we need to get y'all out the way because
yeah,
we got these goddamn hair. Because the interest is from 16 and up. I could say I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. It literally had me going, oh shit, because
right.
it was just the timing of them coming out.
And I
It
mean,
it was just
this was maybe the most star-studded Royal Rumble that we've had in recent memory. I mean, from 16 up, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, all world champions. Jey Uso, the hottest wrestler that we have right now. AJ
yep.
Styles, the phenomenal
Styles,
one. Braun Strowman,
Strowman.
you know, not a big fan
World
of Braun
champion,
Strowman, but world
but
champion.
world champion.
He was there to serve a purpose, which I understand. John Cena,
John Cena,
John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, two of, you know, the biggest wrestlers we have right now. Dirty Dom, the most hated man we have right now. Uh, Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, LA Knight, Logan Paul. Like, this is literally, everybody that is selling
it, it
T-shirts
was
except Logan Paul.
it was it was murderers row. If you had told me 10 years ago that there'd be a Royal Rumble with CM Punk, John Cena, Seth Rollins, CM Punk,
You said CM Punk twice.
I no, oh did I?
Yes.
Jesus. Well, never mind. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, John Cena, Jey Uso, who's the most popular person in the company, and AJ Styles, I'd be like, you're smoking crack.
If you would have told me that we would see Penta, El Zero, Miro, and Shinsuke Nakamura in the same match, I would have said you've 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 hit the weed a little too hard.
I mean, it was. I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad. See, this is why we fuss with each other because we thought the same way. I was. It was like a dude. I'm telling you, I was sitting because fun fact, I didn't even watch it live. I waited till the next day to watch it on delay just for to get I tuned myself out for social media and everything.
I
And I
mean,
was watching it
kudos
and
to
I'm
you
sitting here.
because it's incredibly hard to not see who won on social media, and that's day of, let alone the next day.
But when I saw, because it was like Roman came out, I was like, oh shit. And then the next name was Drew. I was like, oh shit. Like I just found myself saying, oh shit, because it was like, oh, Drew's been waiting on this for a fucking minute. Like
Right.
he been waiting to get that ass for a hot second, right?
I mean, Drew even said that he's been waiting for this moment.
He he walked up to him like it was a like he saw him at the bar. He's like, bitch, I've been waiting to whoop your ass for long. And then Roman's just sitting there like, oh man, bring it. Like, bitch, bring it. And then who was it? Then they get their fighting on. AJ comes back with his old theme music. Thank you, fucking Jesus, for giving him back his old theme.
I low-key did not think AJ Styles was going to return so soon. From what I heard, he like shattered his ankle. So, I was thinking we wasn't going to see him till after WrestleMania. So it was like legitimately a surprise to me that
It
he
was.
did so well.
It was. And then it's funny because he pops in, does his thing. John Cena pops up. Everybody's like, oh, no, Jay Uso pops in there. Everybody's like, oh, shit. He's doing thing. And then John Cena pops in there. Everybody's like, and I'm like, oh, shit. And then CM Punk comes out, and I'm like, oh, shit.
And then
And then
Logan
Seth
Paul
Rollins
came
comes
out.
out.
Then Logan
Then
Paul.
Seth Rollins pops out, and I'm like, I'm like, oh man, all these motherfuckers is about them. Everyone that's intertwined with each other at that point is just like, within the last 3 years, is like, even with the history, it's just like, and I was like, oh my God. And that was the first time I could just sit there and I was like, I don't know who the fuck is winning this match. Like, I just, like, who's
Usually, like when
Logan?
you get like a big name like John Cena, like usually like the next name it would be less than like we would get like a Ludwig Kaiser or a Miz. Literally, the next name after John Cena is CM Punk,
CM Punk, and
then
with
Seth
purpose.
Rollins.
And then was Seth Rollins. And then it was just like, oh my fucking God. And it's just like three people that, I mean, that match, the last 10 people were literally, I think the last 10 people, if any one of those people had a one, I probably wouldn't have been a complaint.
Well, I mean, one of those 10 guys did win, and there was still complaints.
I mean, yeah, and I get it. And I also understand why. And that's where people need to understand. People are just thinking, and this is where people are fickle because everybody's like, well, you know, they wanted John Cena, the part timer, to come back and win when we've been spending 10 years bitching about a part timer coming back.
Right. I mean, literally just last
Like,
year, The Rock came in and he was less than a part timer and wanted the main event of WrestleMania. And people were bitching, oh, he's taking the main event of WrestleMania. He doesn't deserve it. He didn't earn it. And then literally John Cena the next year, yay, John Cena, we want him to win 17 times championships, even though he hasn't been here for a year.
yeah, no, not even a year, 2 years.
Right.
I mean, what his last match before that was
Um,
Solo Sikoa?
yeah, that sounds right.
So, I mean, it's, but I know why they gave it. And I kept telling everybody, I understood because the story is in who's facing Cody, not who's facing Gunther.
Right. Well,
Because everyone is literally gunning for when Punk did not come out for Gunther, that's when I was like, oh, he's coming for the guy he knows. And when they had their little spat, Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna try to go for Cody. And then Seth already has beef with Cody.
I feel like Seth has beef with everybody at this point.
I mean, Seth does have beef. Seth has beef with everybody. Drew has beef with everybody. Uh, Roman is the target from everybody.
Yeah, Roman don't give a shit.
Punk,
He has no beef with anybody.
Punk is hated by everybody. Sammy is trying to please everybody.
There's more
And
there's more beef than Seth Boyardee has.
I mean, but that's where it's at. I kept telling you. I told you last week. The story is in all of those people have a legit claim of a legit reason to want to face Cody.
Right.
The only person who's the odd man out is maybe Drew, and
I disagree with that.
you.
Be
No. I said maybe. I said
Yeah,
maybe, and the only reason I say maybe is because I mean they kind of tied it in with him a little bit when he came out and hugged him. So I mean I get it.
I mean, fun fact: Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes has not defeated Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre has a single W on Cody Rhodes from last year. That is a
True.
fact.
But I mean, but there's an angle and there's a reason why everybody's trying to gun for Cody, and it's great. And right now, that is heading into the Elimination Chamber, which is heading into the qualification matches. And I'm telling you right now, some of these hoes already got consequences in them. Um, Not to mention the simple fact we ain't even brought up the fact that Seth curb stomped Roman,
Oh
which
yeah.
to me screams Seth Roman Mania to finish it off. Because we never got the finish between them two 1-on-1 from what happened with the Shield.
Very true. Um, but from what I'm hearing, if you believe rumor and innuendo, CM Punk is going to be a part of that match, and it's going to be Roman, Rollins, and Punk at Mania. Low-key, I don't necessarily like that idea. Um,
I wouldn't think it would. I don't think so. Me personally, well, my thing is that Cena and Punk in the Elimination Chamber is gonna be a fucking crazy thing, and I think Punk is going to use his Paul Heyman favor to get Heyman to get him in the main event.
well, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a favor on the table.
On the docket,
Yeah,
there's a favor on the docket, and this is where Cena gets in and gets because here's the thing. Cody, if Cody faces Cena at Mania 1-on-1, it's not gonna be a good night for Cody. And not in the sense of wrestling, just in the sense of the optics of John Cena going it. It's kind of like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Everyone was on Mike Tyson's side as far as the crowd perception.
I would have used the analogy of Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, but I digress.
Fuck no, I'm not using Hulk Hogan. Fuck Hulk Hogan. Anyways, uh,
But I mean, it was a better wrestling analogy, I'd say.
but what I'm saying, nah, because Hulk Hogan, The Rock, it was more. I can't believe it happened, but I use that analogy for Mike Tyson and Logan Paul because everybody in that building was there to see Mike Tyson try to get that one last hurrah, if that makes sense.
And he literally showed his ass.
And he literally showed his ass, right? He literally showed his ass. But that's what I'm saying. The nostalgic, the nostalgia of wanting to see someone do something one last time in their prime, right? And then you got Cody, who's in his prime as the champion. He's going to get booed out that building. Punk can take the heat from that by inserting himself in that match.
So you're saying it's gonna be Cody, and Punk, Cody, and Cena in the main event.
Yes, because I could see Cena Cody at SummerSlam 1-on-1.
I mean, we could. I mean, you could even push it until December and let it be his last match.
You could.
Um, yeah. So the thing that I have a problem is with, obviously there was that big pull apart Seth Rollins Roman Reigns, and Punk was involved. It kind of seems like uh they subtracted Drew McIntyre from the situation, because Drew was a part of that shit. And Drew was kind of the catalyst of all of this shit. I don't necessarily need to see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins again. I mean, they've had their beefs in the past. They've had one on one matches a lot more often. But I really feel like Drew is owed a match against Roman at this point. I mean, it started with Roman. Shouldn't it end it with Roman? And maybe on, obviously the biggest stage that it possibly could be on?
If they didn't have that match at 35, I could see your point.
Um, I don't feel like the WWE takes things like that into account anymore, unfortunately.
I mean, I see. I mean, yeah, but I also see, because if that were the case, then why didn't Drew attack Roman,
Right. And
and
that's
why
the
was
problem.
it Seth?
Low key, the January 6th Raw. I never said this actually before the show came out. Solo should have won that match between Roman and Solo for the Ulafala. And the reason Solo should have won is because Drew McIntyre claymored Roman, knocked him out, and put Solo's body on top of him. That should have been how that match should have ended. But I digress. I don't see where a Damian Priest Drew McIntyre match is gonna do anything for either guy at this point. Maybe Logan Paul versus not Logan Paul. LA Knight versus McIntyre is a little bit more interesting at this point. But honestly, who knows? It,
I mean, Damian Priest and Jacob Fatu looked like they was about to get it cracking. Now that
why does it seem like everybody is ready to throw hands?
because that's how it should be. It's WrestleMania season and it's smoke season in the city. It's gonna be some smoke in the motherfucking city, and right now, all the smoke is in the motherfucking city, as my grandma used to say back in the day.
Kind of going back to the Rumble. ISO speed in the Royal Rumble. I've never been a fan of Braun Breaker, but I've never been a bigger fan of Braun Breaker. The way that he destroyed ISO. Um, that was a fun moment, in my opinion.
I didn't even know who the hell that kid was,
Me neither, but I enjoyed
but
seeing him get
that
broken.
I mean, broken wasn't even the word. He was a crash test dummy.
And I mean, it was just a cool, generally a cool moment that Joe Henry was in the Royal Rumble. Obviously, the most rival wrestler in the world today. Low key disappointed that he didn't last longer than 3 minutes and 35 seconds, and that he didn't necessarily get a punch in on John Cena. But I digress. I mean, he got eliminated
I
by Roman
mean,
Reigns, so I mean that's not a bad way to go out either.
it ain't like he still. I mean, John Cena's name after the match, so
I mean he's been calling his.
obviously he still got some. That's my point.
Yeah.
So popping that name up.
Um, and obviously, the one thing that we didn't really talk about too much was that Jey Uso won. Um, Nobody, like you said before we got on the show, nobody had Jey Uso on their bingo card. And if you did have him on your bingo card, good on you, man. Um,
You a
all
fucking lie. That's what it. You a fucking lie. That's what. Stop capping.
out
Cause
of all these big names, it kind of shows you, Jey Uso was maybe the least of these big names, but he had the most to gain from actually winning a Royal Rumble. Um, in my opinion, I was at the end of this Rumble, I was pretty sour because it was Jey Uso and John Cena, and people are like, "Yay, John Cena!" The same people that said Cena sucks back in a couple years ago are saying, "Yay, Cena, we love you again." I'm not one of those people. I'm glad he's retiring. I've seen enough of John Cena. And I did not
oh
want to see John
damn.
Cena win another Royal
Yeah.
Rumble, let alone tie Stone Cold fucking Steve Austin for 3 wins apiece. So I was ready to take it off before the match even ended. And then
Holy shit. What did he do to you?
And then I got surprised. They gave me Jey Uso, and I popped as loud as I possibly could when Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. Obviously,
So was it. So was everybody else. So was 70,000 other motherfuckers.
yeah, 70,001 because it seems like the internet was not on our side on that. But if you saw Raw on in Cleveland, I mean, they literally fucking encored his entrance because people wanted to yeet. So, I mean,
Well, that
there's
ain't the first time that they've done it.
right. I mean, clearly there's a reason that they put him to win this Royal Rumble, and I mean, he had the most to benefit from doing so as well. So, I'm incredibly happy that Jey Uso won, and like we said, it was a very unexpected win. Nobody had him on your bingo card, and that's why this is going to be known as one of the better Royal Rumbles in recent history. But in your
Yeah.
opinion, what the best Royal Rumble ever?
I mean, to me, it was the best ever. And the reason being is because you had, usually you would know who's winning by the time you get to four. There was 10 people in that match, and I could not tell you who was going to win that motherfucker. Like, literally. Like, this was the first Royal Rumble on the men's side in which I was literally on the edge of my seat, like, who the fuck is going to win? Because I couldn't tell you. Like, I think I think that's why I think it was good, because I as much as sometimes I don't mind being right, I also like not knowing.
Right.
I love it better when I don't know, and it's just like, oh my God, this person could win because of this, and the hypotheticals that was running through my head, because I'm sitting up there like, oh my God, Punk. When Punk eliminated Roman and Seth, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna win that bitch. And then Logan Paul throws CM Punk over the rope for you, like, what the? Like literally 4 seconds later, Punk gets thrown over the rope by fucking
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. You're like, what the? Like my whole mood was fucking pissed. So it was just like, oy, oy, oy. And then John Cena starts eliminating motherfuckers. Then it's him and I'm like, oh my God, Cena's about to win this bitch. And then Jey Uso blew.
Yeah.
So I mean, it it worked. It worked. That last half worked to wonders.
How many stars do you give this one?
I told you, five. People can look at me all they want, five, just because it literally was. Even though it was one Royal Rumble, it felt like two different Royal Rumbles.
Yeah. The world
It felt
champion.
like two totally separate Royal Rumbles, and I'm here for that.
Yeah, I can't disagree. 5 stars. Never saw it coming. So yeah. Alright. Um, Dave Meltzer. Forgot about that guy.
Hey, Uncle Dave.
He's definitely not giving this a 5 star. 4.5.
4.5. Man, we on the money tonight. Look at you. But then again, we were all on the frequency. We were all on the
The show as a whole. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
same. As a whole, the tag match was a little left to be desired. Even with that, it still was a thumbs up just because that men's Royal Rumble was fucking on it. It was fucking on it.
I'd go back and I'd rewatch this show. Thumbs up.
I mean, I'll just rewatch it just for the fucking Rumble itself.
Oh yeah. Right. Um, that will conclude our coverage of the Royal Rumble in this show as a whole. Um, Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Uh, Join us this Tuesday this Tuesday as we interview Ruslan, and this Wednesday as we interview Victor Tukey. Um, Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Xthread and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I mean, I'm Kaliko. I might still be in Cleveland yeeting with everybody playing the Jey Uso song. Because I felt like they just never stopped since SummerSlam.
I mean, there's not a lot more to do in Cleveland, except eat dogs.
That pretty much. You're right. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
And that's your political reference of the night. For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Yeet, yeet, yeet. And more yeet. To yeet or not to yeet? That is my question. See, we should have just all these goddamn references.
So much to yeet.
Yeet down for what?
Yeet in. Well, we did yeet in the bank already.
I mean, yeet in the bank is never old.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.